Hi, viewers. Welcome to another exciting episode of Unveiling Life Talk Show. I remain your host, Princess Diana. And on today's episode, I have here with me.
Bose Otufora, also known as the Mighty.
So today, we are looking into the world of the girls, a girl child. Is a girl child guarded or caged? Are we protecting her or we are restricting her?
Hmm. Raising a girl child. And I believe in many homes we have girl child, or let's say girl children. And raising them can come always with heavy emotions, such like fear, pride, and a deep sense of responsibility. And this varies in some family. Protecting the children when it is overdone can lead to overprotection. And the fact remains that either good or bad, we just have to protect the girl children or girl child. When we want to talk about, when we want to go back to the age of our mothers, there's a way they raise girl child. But thank God for new innovations, enlightenment, and civilizations. We realize now that the emphasis our mothers are laying on girl children is quite different from the way we, these Gen Z mothers of nowadays, are raising them. Come to think of it, if all these Gen Z mothers like our age, want to raise our girl children the same way they raised us, bet it with me, we are going to overdo it. We are going to overprotect them. And coupled with the fact that the kind of children we raise now are quite different from the girl children we raised
In
that
those
time.
days?
In this new dispensation, these Gen Z girl children, they want to explore. They want to do many things on their own. Many at times, they don't want you to be hard on them. But in those days of our mothers, the girl children does not have any other option. You go according to how it's been dictated. You are going to follow the
They lay down
rules,
rules.
the regulations that your parents are giving. But thank God, we will not say our mothers in those days have made a lot of mistakes. But what we are trying to say today is that we can tap from them and say add our own in raising the girl children in these days. Never to overdo it, never to cage them, but to raise them in love.
But do you think we can actually raise our children the way our parents raised us in this dispensation?
I don't think we cannot raise them the way they raised us. I particularly cannot raise my child, my girl child, the way I'm being raised. But the fact remains that we that are product of those olden days of bringing, there's this tendency of us raising our girl children the same way they raised us, except if you tap it with caution. If you're a product of those upbringing in the olden days, there's no way you will not have that thing in your system. But thank God for new innovation, enlightenment. Then we too go out. We have a lot of friends that were raised not the same way we were raised. We have them around us to also gain the way they are raising their girl children. You know, in most cases, when you are doing bad things, you are just looking for somebody to tell
Tell
you
you.
that what you are doing is not good. So in most cases, when we go out and we see the different ways, the most encouraging ways other peers like us raise their girl children, we can emulate that, or we mix it from the way we are being raised. But outrightly, we cannot raise our children the way we are being raised.
So do we call this upbringing? Do we call this guiding? Or do we call this restriction? Or is it caging? Because if you look at it properly, when it comes to a girl child, we are always extra careful. Anything that has to do with a girl, there is this extra caution that people put, like, oh wow, your daughter, my girl, this, that, because it's like there is something particular about this girl child. The way you look at a boy is different from the way you look at a girl. And I think the only difference is that where you are scared of damage is a girl getting pregnant. It put an end to her education, put an end to her dream, put an end to a lot of things in her life. But there's a way you can still go about it that the damage you are looking at can still turn around and you have a result at the end of the day, depending on your manner of approach. Now, do we call this cage? Do we call this a guiding pattern, or do we call it restriction? What exactly are we doing? Because this generation, it tends to feel more safer with the girls than the boys. In our period, our parents were more particular about the girls. But this generation, people are more particular about the boys because they see it like a boy is the one that will go out there, join bad gangs, peer groups, pressure, and come back to be what the parent don't even know him to be. There are periods where there are cases where you discover that your son is under drug, your son is under alcohol, your son, and you'll be like, no, it cannot be. My son does not. But at the end of the day, you discover that this is actually happening. So this generation, they look more into the boy child than the girl child. Our own time, they look more into the girl child than the boy child. But all in all, what are we doing? Are we restricting them? Are we molding them? Are we actually raising them? Or what exactly are we doing? Because if you look at the pattern, there are a lot of things we are doing that we are not supposed to do. It is a girl you will call and tell, my dear, you already see your period. You don't need to talk to a boy. You don't need to move close to a boy. You don't need to have a boyfriend. Not a lover, even a boyfriend. Because if you do that, you're going to get pregnant. But on the other hand, the boy has his freedom. So, what is it with the girl child raising?
When you look at it very critically, the protection over a girl child in those days and now is almost the same. It might not be the same, but almost. In those days, there are more protection for the girls. Likewise, now there are more protection for the girls. The only difference there is that there are more havoc now than before. You know, in those days, I could remember very well. We have a cousin that was staying in our house at that time. So when we are done cooking dinner, you see our mother telling us, oh yeah, carry this food, go and give it to Brother Lagbaja in those days. Now, we can't do that again because we discover that the pedophile that we have around are the member of the same household.
So, yeah.
So now, mothers, parents of those days feel more safer sending their girl children or girl child to a male counterpart. Do we understand? Without having any regret or fear over it. But now, even when a male visitor is in the house, you find it so difficult and trusting that your girl child should go in there and go and tell the person to go and, to go and pass a message to the other person that is a male in the house. What are we trying to say is that the havoc now is more than before. But despite that, there are not more havoc in the olden days than now. Our mothers still overprotect us. In fact, they don't even do it in a mature way. Where are you going? Even if you are coming out sincerely from your lesson, they say, where our mothers will say, oh, ṣé lẹ́sìn ló ti lọ látàárọ̀ àbó ti yálé lágbẹ́já tó bá lóyún. We discover that our parents does not have much to say to get child than don't get pregnant.
Exactly.
Don't get pregnant. In those days, the only chorus they sang at those days is that don't get pregnant, don't get pregnant. But when we look at the parents of nowadays, even when they are communicating the same message, but the method of communicating the message is quite different. When you look at our mothers, they do it in an abusive way. Hey, I'm warning you, if you go and get pregnant, this house will not contain both of us. So, but there's a way that mothers of nowadays do say it. If you are not much of the olden days idea, because we discover that the olden days girl child that is being raised, product of the girl child in the olden days, are we, these mothers of nowadays.
Yes.
But we are trying to raise the Gen Z girl children. So how do we communicate to them? The same communication, but in a different way.
In a more acceptable way.
In a more acceptable way. In a more understanding way. You know, in those days, we don't understand the plight of our mothers.
Period. What they do is impose.
Yes.
Not with explanations. No. You know, this generation, when you tell them something, they want to know the reason why you are telling them. You ask me not to go out. Why can't I go out?
Yes.
At so time. Tell me the reason. What are the implications?
Our mothers of those days, many of us that started menstruation, we were not learned through our mothers.
We're not informed.
We're not informed. In fact, when you start your menstruation, the fear of telling your mother is number one. How do I face my mother to tell my mother that I am menstruating? I
can remember when that thing happened. Instead of telling my mom, I went to tell my brother. I said, "Oh, come and see you. They say sugar I'm eating is too much. Instead of me to pee, his blood, that sugar has destroyed my life." You know the fear of like, I can't even go to and tell her because of fear. So when you are even on track, you don't know what we meet when you get to them.
Yes, they have deep emotion. But instead of them to communicate their deep emotion with love, they communicated it with fear. They dare not see you with a male friend.
But not,
if your mommy is coming and you are standing with just a common classmate, the thing you know that you are going to go and face panel at home that day. And when you are facing the panel, even while you are telling the truth, they might even beat you. But nowadays, there's a way we can express our emotion through love. Please, are you menstruating? When you started your menstruation, there are some mothers in the olden days. I may be wrong. There are some mothers in the olden days too that get their children informed, that tell them the do's and don'ts. These are the things you are so. But they are
very few.
They are few. The percentage of those people that they pass the message across was through fear are more than those ones that they pass the message across through love. Do you understand? So in those days, there was cage.
That's just
don't go out, don't do this, don't do that. But even despite that they caged us, there was no havoc. Do you understand? But nowadays, we are not caging. Or let me say, our caging is not up to the level of the cage they gave people like us in those days. But still, we want to pass the message across. Nobody allows their children to go out at a particular time of the night. Like in many homes in the olden days, they say your mother that is just coming back from market 8 o'clock in the night, and you need to go and grind pepper. So we should now say so that because we don't want you to be raped, don't go and grind pepper. Will your mother go? So you can go to anywhere at any time. Nowadays, we don't do that. We don't allow our girl child to get freedom. We don't allow them to express their feelings. We restrict them to some extent. I work in a school. If a child does not come home in a certain time, now the mothers have been enlightened. They will ask them, what happened? You close this 2 o'clock. Why are you coming home 4 o'clock? Then it will give the girl child the room to explain herself. Sure. In the olden days, where are you coming from? Gbogbo ọmọ ìyá Rasida ó ti dé tipẹ́tipẹ́ ìgbà tó ń kírun lọ́wọ́ lọ́mọ ìyá Bílíkì ti dé níbo ni wọ́n ti ń bọ̀ without even
Before you even
listening,
say a word,
they
a
judge
hot
you.
slap is landed on you
They
already.
judge you. Do we understand? But still, the fact that whether we are caged, whether we are passing the message across with love or fear, we just have to find a way of raising our girl
Children.
children. But in a nutshell, how we do it, that is what is differs. How am I doing mine? How are you doing your own? Then we must not forget the fact that again that children differs. We have some girl children that when you tell them, please don't go out. Many girl children does not know that the advice, the nurture, the upbringing you are giving to them is to their own advantage until they got their lesson outside before some of them realize. And every mother will always want to go out there to make sure the girl does not learn in a hard way. Do we understand now? Look at the case of that Ochanya girl of 18. The news is
Yeah,
been
yeah, yeah,
circulating
yeah.
now.
The girl that was living with her uncle, the son was raping her. The
So also
father
the
too
father.
was raping her till the girl died. That was a very serious issue. And that was even a relative. She was living with a relative,
Yes.
not a total stranger. So that's supposed to be her family that will protect her.
Yes. Don't forget that in the olden days, my mother can boldly say, my daughter, go and live with my brother. My daughter, go and live with my step wife. My daughter, go and live. But nowadays, this restriction is being
Because
made.
the world
The
has turned
world
to
around
something
has turned
else.
to
The world has
something
turned to
else.
something else. Even this generation is where we see a father
Sleeping
raping
with,
his own daughter, and we tell you that she's my property.
she's
I
protecting.
own her, and I can do whatever I want with her. There was a girl that spoke out some time ago that she just have to come out and speak because the father has actually been defining her for years. It was when her mother was not there. Her mother was not living with the father, so it was only the father that raised her. And this man had the kind of knowledge of this girl to the extent that the girl had to go to the station herself to report.
Hmm.
So in that kind of situation, what would you say? Look at the damage, the trauma your own father that's supposed to protect you, guide you, turn you to. So there are a lot of things happening in this generation. And if you look at it properly, you won't blame some parents or some mothers especially that put a lot of restriction on their children. Because when the havoc is done, the way
It
to control it and to limit the damage it takes
places
a
a stigma
in
on the
fact
child.
it's a lot, it's a whole lot. So the best thing is just to look for a way to control, is to look for a way not to happen, not to have it at all. Because at the end of the day, you'll be like, when she's pregnant, we can get rid of the pregnancy to protect and to cover up. What if at the end of the day you do that and later on in life she's married and there's no fruit of the womb? What would you do? Nobody knows how many kids they're destined to have. So that's why most times we see our mothers, we see the parents putting a lot of restriction, putting a lot of rules for the benefit of the girl child.
Hmm.
Not because the boy child is cannot be caged also, but the havoc that will take place when a girl child gets pregnant or
It's
is
more.
being destroyed sexually is more. Imagine a girl that is exposed to early sex
Hmm.
life.
Hmm.
What will become of her in future when she's married? At the end of the day, her husband will not be able to satisfy her. From there, you have a broken home. From there, you have a mother that is having kids and there's no father. Before you know it, she has her own children and she'll be like, no, this is the way of life. You don't do this, you don't do that. Out of what she has gone through, she will transfer a similar thing to the children because she knows what she faced, what she went through, what it took her to raise those children on her own. And if she doesn't want those children to go through that, especially if she has a girl child, you'll be seeing aggression, you'll be seeing bitterness in her. But if you look deep down, all she was passing across is the safety of the girl child. So it only takes a girl that will listen, be obedient, and want to know where the mother is coming from that will get the message. So if you ask me, I think the society at large, we need to cultivate a method a pattern, a format with
See,
love to communicate to these children.
the
Because the moment you are passing a message across in anger, in aggression, in bitterness, you won't achieve anything good.
see
You will not achieve anything good.
the solution to stop caging girl child should be traced back to childbearing. Do we understand now? Now, the fact remains that when God blesses us with girl children or girl child, we must train them. But in most case scenario, a lot of parents does not know when the girl child is being caged or overprotected. You know, everybody is a mother, and you want to just display that attitude of that motherhood in protecting your children. So therefore, as mothers or fathers in the house, we won't know when we are overstepping the boundaries. But the caution must be taken at all costs. I guess number one thing we need to do to avoid training or bringing our girl children in an aggressive manner is to cut down the line of the child we're having. Give birth to only what you can nurture. Do we understand? The attitude of letting my daughter to go and stay with my sister should be minimized, if not totally erased.
If you even ask me, I will
Do you
even
understand?
suggest it's not the best to allow children
It's
to go
not
to
even the
girls'
best
school only or
because
boys' school
yeah,
only.
because
That's where all these
because when you are
lesbian and
looking
stuff
at
like
these
that
things
start
very
from.
critically, you discover that a lot of girls that are being molested are a product of I am staying with my uncle, I am staying with my auntie. Apart from being molested sexually, there are emotional molestations on a girl children. There are verbal molestations. There are a lot of things that is associated with child, a girl child going to stay with somebody.
Relative.
You only know your sister. You don't know your sister closely when you are living together. You only know her closely when you are living. I don't know you because we are not staying together. So we are bound to know much of ourselves when we stay together. So I just know
And the
you.
way you will protect and guide your own thing
You
is
can't compare
different
it with
from the way
how
she
another
will.
person will. Do
Exactly.
you understand? Like my own girl child, when it is 6 o'clock, I find it difficult sending them out. The person I'm asking her to go and stay with might not be mindful of that.
At home.
A lot of even parents are mindful of their own when it comes to protection of their own biological children, but throw caution away when it comes to another girl child that is coming to stay with them. Do you understand? So number one thing in raising our girl children is not to cage, but to protect. How do you protect a girl child? Number one is to give her voice. Do you understand? Give your girl child voice. What do I mean by this? Let them explain themselves to you. Let them be free. I may be guilty of this too. Let them be free. Give them every access that anytime you knock on me, I'm always accessible.
Available.
I am available. Tell me everything. Do we
There's this
understand?
saying that when they are when couples are getting married, there's this saying that Ọlọ́run á ṣe yín lọ́rẹ̀ẹ́ ara yín. You understand that kind of a thing? I don't know, maybe it's well, why don't we say you make your daughter your friend? If your daughter is your friend, she will be able to express herself,
To you.
to discuss a lot. In fact, the things others don't discuss with their parents at home, she'll be able to come out with, mommy, you see one who at school today, oh, this, blah, blah, blah. But what do you think? And before you know it, even when there is problem or challenges, she'll come and seek your advice. Yeah. Because she already believes that, no, when I tell my mommy is open, my mommy talks to me and my mommy will gist, all those. So she already sees a friend in her mother. So when you make that available, I think that will also help. If you want a restriction of I'm your mother, I'm authoritative, whatever I say is final, you have yourself to blame. Because at the end of the day, she will go elsewhere to get the wrong advice. And that's where problem will start from.
And the society we have today does not have any good things to offer.
No,
many times. So instead of us to catch the gay child, we should protect them. protect them with love. When you protect them in fear, when you are inculcating or creating fear in them, you make them to disbelieve themselves. You make them to depend on others. You make them to lose the confidence they have in themselves. They don't have this confidence. They don't trust themselves. They don't even have the ability to dictate what they have strength, where they have strength, or where they have weaknesses. So don't go out. Don't sit
Don't
down
have
here.
friends.
Don't have friends.
Don't
Does
meet
not really
up.
matter.
Even
Does not really matter. We discovered that the research discovered it that even the girls that are being caged have the tendency of falling into problems.
because they don't have the knowledge of what is
They don't
happening
have the
out there.
knowledge
So
of
the
what is
moment
going
they are
on.
exposed like this, that is the end.
The only thing is that instead of you to restrict them or to cage them, why don't you set a time limit for them? Okay, mommy, I am going out. Then who are you going out with? I want to go out with Ore. Okay, where are you going? This is where we are going. When are you coming back? Set a time limit.
I even
You are
prefer you
going.
bring your friend to the house. Let me see who your friend is. Because what
Yes.
I will see
No,
and
you know,
assess,
in
you
some
cannot
cases,
see
their
it.
friends you have known them, whether consciously or unconsciously, maybe through the PTA meeting, whether you are living in the same neighborhood and all of that. Do you understand? After knowing them, give them the opportunity to trust you. Mommy, I'm going out. Mommy, I'm going here. Do we understand? Like, I could remember very well when my children were going to schools, though they were boys, I was telling them, it wasn't as if I was encouraging them to do bad, but I told them, please, you can always confide in me. You are going to school. This is a new world. In case of any eventuality, always beckon on me. What are those eventuality I was passing across to them? Is that I know they are boys. They want to exercise the freedom.
Sure.
In case you impregnate anybody, you might have a father that does not tolerate nonsense. And me too, to some extent. But let me be the first to know.
No.
Whatever anything that happens to you in school, let me know.
Mm.
I am not saying you should go to school and go and be sleeping with girls of your age. But at least, if worse come, let me know. Don't ever involve in killing another person's child. Do you understand? Now, to some parents, they might think that, oh, saying that to children or
You're
your
already
child, you are
encouraging them.
indulging them. It is not. But you should create allowances for such.
You have to balance it.
You have to
Should
balance
in
it.
case. You never
Yes,
can tell.
there's no man that is born of woman that is incapable of making any error. The errors are bound to be made. When they make the error, make allowances for it. I am not saying when they get to school, they should deviate from their primary assignment and go and be flirting around. But if such thing happens,
How do you
instead
handle
of
it?
them dipping, so the same thing goes to girls too. That is why sometimes when I see mothers, when their girl child got pregnant and they feel that the way of protecting them is to abort, it's not always safe. It's not ideal. Why don't you let the girl go through whatever he wants to go through? Let the knowledge be passed across. If there's a normal knowledge, if the girl is well informed, I believe he will do what is right for him, for her to do, and do what not to do. Do you understand? But we are not saying, some people might be saying that even despite getting the children informed, the child that will still go out to go and walk astray will still walk astray. But how do we balance it up? So do we now say that because we don't want our children to be led astray, we now cage them? It doesn't do us any good. Let them go outside. Let them go and feel whatever they want to feel outside. Yorùbá máa ń sọ kinní kan, wọ́n á ní àsọ pé kọ́mọdé ó má dẹ́tẹ̀, ṣùgbọ́n tó bá ti lè dá gbógbé. Jẹ́ kó lọ. For how long do we want to keep them under our custody? Don't forget that one day, they will still go out.
Of course.
The only thing is that teach them the way they should go.
Yeah.
Teach them what they should know. Let them know that all friends are not friends.
Of course.
Let them know that trust is a big word. It should not be given to everybody. Don't let them rely on everybody. Don't let them trust everybody. The world is hot now. The dispensation that we have now is hot. There's this thing outside there that is waiting to devour anybody
Of course.
that just walk anywhere. How? So let them know, even while you are protecting them, you must pass the message across that I am not doing this for you not to have freedom. I'm only protecting you. These are the way you should go. These are the way you should go. Then vetting the kind of friends your child keeps is not a way of caging.
No,
It's a way of verifying. Another says, show me your friends,
not
and I
all
will show
you.
you who
Who
you
you
are.
are.
When I see who I'm not supposed to see with my child,
That's why I said
I
earlier on that
caution.
when you see your daughter's friend or your children's friend, when they come to the house, they
You
visit,
know what
you
is
can easily
capable of
assess
doing.
the kind of
Yes,
person the friend
yes,
is. And with
yes,
that,
yes.
you will be able to caution, advise, and even talk to your own child that, okay, this is your friend, this is what I've seen. Be careful, watch out for this, watch out for that. But the moment you are preventing them from opening up and bringing their friends to the house, you are not helping situation because they will
Yes.
definitely have friends. They can't isolate themselves. It's
They
not
cannot,
possible.
they cannot, they cannot. And I think that the best we can do to crown it all is to be closer with them, to be friends with
Just
them.
make them your friend.
Though
That's it.
sometimes, those children might be toxic sometimes, but we just have to embrace with love. Even when you are passing the message across, do it with love. Be their friends, be involved, be involved. That is the most important thing. Be involved. Get children, when it goes to a stage, the restriction or the cage or the guided, they want to break the bound.
Of course.
At all costs, I
Of
must be
course.
free. But when you are closer with them, even what they are nursing that is hurting them, when they want to go outside that cage, they call it
Even that
cage. To
affect their
us,
confidence at the
it
long run
affects their
because they will
confidence.
not be bold. They will be timid. At the end of the day, once they don't have a voice, they can't come out openly to say things. They are not outspoken. They are scared of what people will say. If I should say this, if I should do this, I don't know which one is right,
Mm,
which one is wrong. So the best is just to talk, advise, guide them, and make them know their left from their right. Then
yeah,
give them space to come and always express themselves.
yeah.
Once that is there, then with
You
the
are
help
good to
of God.
go. Yes, there's no one that can. So,
So at this point, what I will say to our viewers, especially the mothers in the house, the fathers in the house, what we need to know about our girl child is just to love them, give them support morally, show them love. You know that there's no how you love your wife, show love, and care for her that your children are not seeing it and not emulating it. They'll definitely emulate it. The moment you're able to show your wife love, care, there is no way your children will not do such, will not follow the same thing. So if you're able to start with, they said leadership by what? Example.
example.
So if you're able to do that, your children will follow suit. So just make sure that, especially your girl child, you're able to show them love, care for them, embrace them, and let them know they can always come to talk to you no matter what. The moment you are limiting them with too much strictness, too much fear, and authoritative lifestyle, you are not helping situation. The age we are now is the age where you have to explain everything you are telling your children not to do. Don't go out. You have to let them know the reason why they must not go out at social time. Don't have social friend. You have to let them understand the reason behind it. Because if you don't, you are wasting your time. It's not our own period when it was military rule. You just have to obey.
Mm.
But this
Whether you
generation,
like or
you
not.
have to explain and you have to make them understand what you are passing across with love. Else, you will lose them at the end of the day. So my advice to the parents is just to show love, you know, try as much as possible and show them the will of the Lord. The moment you show them the will of the Lord and you lead by example, the rest is history.
And so also, many a times when we want to correct our children, especially the girl children, me, I always like to show myself as an example. In this life, in upbringing, there are some benefits, there are some regrets.
Yeah.
Don't shy away from sharing your past with your girl children. In fact, most of the time, when you share your own past to them, they understand than getting the facts or ideas from outside. If there's anything that has happened to you, share it with your children. Let them know the reason why you have been. If a mother peradventure had been a product of rape during her own lifetime, it is good to let the child know there's nothing bad in it's my child. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's my child. So using myself as an example or case study for my child helps her to understand case rape more than somebody or me getting example from outside. Then there are some errors that we have fall into as mothers. Let your children know. So let them see reason why you are drawing where you are drawing your points from. So that they will be able to say, oh, no wonder that is the reason why my mother used to do this, shout like this, shout like this. So that they will know that experience has made you a teacher to teach her that this way you are going, you might likely repeat the same error. And most especially, pray for them. Girl children, pray for them. Even all children, at some stages in life, a girl child or any child wants to misbehave. But when you pray along with them, fast along with them, then talk well to them. In most cases, there was a time my child was talking, preaching a sermon. She was talking about mother or child like that on one day in the church. And she was saying that every mother, the bad names you call your children, you actually don't want them to become it. And it's true. If you say, Onira no Oshi, no child will want the mother to be Omo Oshi. Do you understand? So speak positively to them.
Their lives, yeah.
Speak positively to your children. Speak what you want them to become, rather than using
negative
words on them. And let the society help us to do something on the pedophile. What judgment are they giving them? The pedophile that we have seen in the time past, what has government done to them? Yeah. These are the kind of people that government don't need to go and be preaching to them. Let the justice be done. Do you understand? What are they doing? Are the pedophile walking freely outside the door? Are they just getting their life back? Are they going freely for the offense they knowingly committed? Do we understand? The Lord will help us.
Amen. And this is where we call it a day on today's episode. If you have anything you want to discuss with us, if you need someone to talk to, you want to share your opinion, you want to leave a comment, you would like us to share your story, you can always reach out to us on our social media handle. You can call us and you can send us a mail. And until next episode, I remain your humble host, and with me here,
Keep
unveiling life with us. Stay blessed.